Well, it's been a wild ride, hasn't it, Travis?
It has.
Who would have thought we'd end up where we are now a couple of years ago? But I guess one of the things I wanted to chat with you about is some of the transformation in your life regarding what you used to do in classes with kids, where you were kind of the guy and you'd come in and teach classes at the various schools that we were working in, and how that role has sort of transformed as the program has grown to really become one of a mentor for other teachers and kind of expanding things out. What kinds of things are you most excited about these days in your daily activities out there in the world?
Wow. Today, obviously things have changed tremendously since the beginning. In 2006, you asked me to teach one class at Lamar Middle School. And I was still, there was that class and there was a class at McCallum High School, and I was still getting my teacher certification at UT. And I took over that class, and I knew about as much as the classroom teacher. We were both still trying to figure it out. And all I knew was that the class should look like an orchestra, band, or choir.
Which was a new thing.
Right.
Which was a new thing. I mean, guitar classes were very much not always looking that way.
Right. It was a big private lesson. It was students sitting down with a method book and learning a solo piece, but in a group.
Yeah,
and it
times
just
20, right?
Right, and it wasn't efficient. It wasn't motivating. Kids weren't really inspired because it's such a solitary thing.
Right.
We've got all these people here. Why aren't we doing something together? So that class definitely was a learning experience, and over time, I figured out what students at that level were capable of, and really how to organize the class. And over the next couple of years, I honed my skills in presenting this material to the class. And what I was trying to do was to create a model. This is what an ensemble should look like. This is when it's at its best, this is what it is. And over the course of a few years, I feel like we were able to do that, especially at McCallum High School, where I basically just took over the classes over there and really tried to raise the level of playing.
And you did, because they won like national competition every year for who knows
how many years. I think that's still going.
Still going, yeah, still going after the pass off to the great Andrew Clark.
Yeah, but really, I mean, it was just creating that model, and so that we at least had something to organize our thoughts around. And so the next couple of years after that were devoted to spreading that model across Austin and other places if we could get in there, but primarily just expanding in our area. And we did that with much success, and everyone was really excited about guitar. We just ran into the small issue of no one really knowing how to teach it, which is has become our focus since then. And you ask what I'm inspired about today is the process of helping people teach better. So to me, I was thinking about it this morning. What I'm constantly focused on is this idea of expectations, both teacher and student expectations, and how to leverage those in a classroom in order to motivate and ultimately have a successful, really inspired student. And by expectations, I mean the teacher raising their expectations for what the student can do. So many times I walk into a classroom and there's a beautifully planned lesson and the students are playing, but they can do more, you know? And once you set that expectation, once you expect more from a student, they light up. You know, they say to themselves, or sometimes out loud, you know, I never thought I could do this, you know? And that's that motivating piece. On the other hand, the expectation of the student and what they're gonna learn when they sit down and play the guitar. So really working as a teacher to surprise the student when they sit down, to get them to acknowledge that they've done something that they didn't know they were going to do. And those two things, the higher expectations for the students and then the students being surprised, really
by their own ability, by their own ability to refine something, and by their own ability to produce a truly excellent result.
Exactly, exactly. At Gardner Betts Juvenile Justice Center, where I've run the program there for 3 years, the students just sort of come into guitar because they're bored, or they just want to do something to pass the time. These are students who are incarcerated for 6 months to a year. They're in a rough place. There's a lot of things going on with them, so they come in sort of to pass the time. I think it's especially relevant, this expectation thing that I have for them, because really not very many people in their life have expected them to be the best at what they do, or expected them to, or treated them like adults.
Yeah.
You know? So I put that expectation in front of them, and they light up because this is something that they feel they can be successful at, and I'm asking them to do more than anyone ever has. Yeah. To think more than anyone ever has. So, and usually within a month, at least a few of them tell me they never thought they would be able to read music, or they never thought they would be able to play guitar. It's such an uplifting experience for them, but also for me.
Fantastic. Thank you, Travis.
Thank you.